This is my game Hollow Survivors, and it doesn't have a story yet. There is no reason for the player to try their best. No end goal you can strive towards. In Mario, you try to save the princess. In Zelda, you try to save the princess. But in my game, why do you fight? Why would you want to kill some spiders in the forest? It makes no sense, it's stupid. That's why we need, you guessed it, a princess. Well, a metaphorical princess, a reason to fight, if you will. That's why this month I created a story that ties the whole game together so that it makes logical sense. So that it makes you want to play the game and defeat the baddies, even if it's 3 AM and you've already been playing League of Legends for the past 10 hours. What's the story, you ask? Good question. Humanity lives in a giant structure known as the Tower. In a search for power, an organization called the Soulbinders starts to pierce humans and extract their souls. After losing their souls, humans turn into monsters, but some manage to retain a fragment of their humanity. These people are called Hollows, and you are one of them. Your goal is to climb the tower and stop the Soulbinders. It was a very short version of the story. I made a whole separate voice-acted video about it if you want to know more. So, how does this story impact the game? Well, first of all the old enemies are gone. You no longer fight some random insects. Now you fight people that were turned into monsters. So naturally the design had to follow. I redesigned the enemies and also updated the player's sprite to reflect that he's hollow. You can see the 3 characteristic traits of every hollow: white hair, horns, and a giant-ass hole in the chest. The action takes place in a tower, so naturally moving between floors involves stairs. The stairs on the transition floor end with a portal that leads you into the combat. You can choose which floor you want to clear and then click play, at which point the portal pierces you and your soul is teleported to the chosen floor. After completing the challenge, you get a reward and a new set of stairs appears. These stairs lead you to... Oh my god, they led you to my Steam page! Now you have to wish this Hollow Survivors on Steam, link in the description. Nah, they lead you back to the transition floor, and here you can buy some upgrades from the merchant, meet new hollows, decorate the transition floor, and probably much more in the future. If you manage to beat the previous challenge, the next floor unlocks, and this way the game loop continues. This month I have also made some big changes to the combat. The feedback from the last playtest was that the levels were too hard and the combat was boring, so I decided to significantly lower the number of enemies in each stage and make the combat much more dynamic. Now the enemies dash at you, shoot at you, jump around, and you have to be much more proactive and much more careful when you fight. But Danny, it's so unfair! I didn't know that the school will jump at me! I hear ya, Timmy! Now the enemies telegraph their moves so that you never feel cheated by an unexpected move. You have to dodge the enemies and maneuver around them, and goddamn is it satisfying. I also added the first boss to the game, the School King. Does he look very similar to the school enemy? Yes. Will he beat your ass? Also yes. Don't believe me? Well, I'll be holding another playtest very soon, so if you want to participate and try yourself, then you can join our new Discord server. Back on the transition floor, I've added some visual flair, like this sewer pipe that you're thrown out of if you lose a game. I added this red thing that is supposed to be kind of like a tent for the merchant, but still needs to be painted by a real artist. And these god rays that serve no other purpose than just being pretty. When you climb the stairs, the camera takes the perspective as if it's actually moving up. I do this by shrinking everything except the player and the stairs, and then also shrinking each step separately as necessary. And then I also shrink these god rays at the bottom to sell the illusion better. And all in all, it looks like this. I think it's quite unique, but if you think otherwise, let me know in the comments if you think it looks weird or something. I also wrote a few blog posts on Substack where I share my thoughts and lessons I've learned along the way. And lastly, I prepared a pitch deck and sent it out to the publishers. No success so far, so if you're a publisher and would like to discuss a potential collaboration, please reach out to me. And if you're not a publisher, then wishlist Hollow Survivors on Steam. Please, it helps me so much. Thank you. Peace.